Countries around South Africa are selling their banks to Nigerians. This one will shock many of you. Yes, many countries around South Africa, they leave South Africa instead of selling their banks to South Africa. Let's assume that, okay, they come to realize that their banking sector is no longer working. There's problem in the bank, all of that. So they need somebody else that can manage the bank for them, revive the bank, or make, financial institution to get booming in their country. Instead of them to go to their South Africa, who is their neighbor, they say, no, let us go and look for Nigerians and sell out our banks to them. This is not a joke. This thing no be joke, as I'm telling you guys. As you can see, it's not one country, it's not just two countries. It's a couple of countries. Some of them are just close to South Africa, as in their nearest neighbor. Their nearest neighbor. Somebody, if you have a good neighbor, what do you do when you have a good neighbor? If you don't get Maggi, you go knock neighbor house and neighbor, please for Maggi. If you don't get salt, you will collaborate with your neighbor. How can you leave your neighbor and fly all over waters, fly over the sea and over desert to go to Nigeria and beg them, come and resolve my problem for me, oh, come and help me, oh, this is my situation, oh. When you have neighbors, this tells you a lot. This tells you how South Africa is living with their neighbors, because Tanzania is a step from South Africa. It's just near them. All of these countries that are closer to South Africa than Nigeria. You understand? Tanzania, Botswana, all those countries, some of them even speak the same language. I've been a Swahili, I've been a Zulu, I've been a whatever languages. All of them are together. So this speaks volumes. This news speaks volumes. It's either South Africa is incompetent to help them solve that problem they are facing in their banking industry, or they see that South Africa cannot help them, or they see that South Africa are people who cannot help other African people, or they have realized that with South Africa they cannot depend on them. You understand? So they know that something is not right there. But on the other hand, when you look at Nigeria, there will probably be something about Nigeria that is giving them that confidence to leave every country. They will not even go and sell to Europe, sell to America, sell to China and other countries in the world. They say, no, we trust Nigerians. This sounds so big that countries in Africa can trust Nigeria. This is what we have been talking about from day one. From day one. And every African country that has trusted Nigeria has have enjoyed the fruits. They reap from it. They enjoy the fruits of it. That's why you see Botswana minister came out to say, we want Nigerians. Nigerians, come to our country, come and invest in this country. The Botswana prime minister was right. The woman was so intelligent. They sat and they discussed this. They knew that the presence of Nigeria brings a lot of economic activities, a lot of economic changes. And that's why they took that decision. And it's turning out good for them. Now, why do you think Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, all these countries are selling their banks to Nigeria? You think they just got up of a sudden and said, no, let us just sell our banks to Nigeria? No, Nigeria earned it. Earned it. People love to criticize Nigeria a lot. People don't like to talk about the good things Nigerians are doing. I've said it before with Ghana that the only successful thing in Ghana today is the Ghana banking industry. Even the government of Ghana had to start borrowing money from banks in Ghana. They had borrowed from all the banks in the world, World Bank, IMF, everywhere. Borrowed from China to the point where they couldn't borrow anymore. They started borrowing from banks in Ghana because the banking industry in Ghana is good. And the evidence of that banking, the products behind the banking industry in Ghana are Nigerians. You think countries don't see? You think countries, they see what Nigerians are doing in the banking sector. Name an African country that has better banks than Nigeria. Name 5 best banks in Africa. Name 5 top banks in Africa. And I will tell you that at least 3 of the 5, or even all the 5, will be Nigerian owned or Nigerian managed banks. That is fact. Nobody can deny it. Nigeria is the best in Africa when it comes to banking and finance. They have shown it in Nigeria, shown it in Ghana, showing it across the world. Right now, a Nigerian went from being from bank management to becoming the Minister of Finance in Nigeria to the point where the World Trade Organization had to take her. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, she is the General Director of World Trade Organization, a Nigerian woman. That's to tell you, when it comes to banking and money, managing finances, managing money, nobody does it better than Nigeria. That's why Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is the general manager, is the boss of the World Trade Organization because of what Nigerians do there. So these people know that Nigerians are competent, Nigerians are good. Let's talk about it. It won't hurt South Africans, it won't hurt anybody to celebrate the fact that Nigerians are good managers. They know how to run banks better than anybody. Now, in case you don't know, the Kenyan National Bank of Kenya, yes, they are selling out to Nigeria. If you are a Kenyan, this is a good news for you guys. I don't think you should see this from a negative perspective, because this will rather help the banking sector in Kenya. And this is not the first bank in Kenya selling their assets or everything to Nigeria. I've said it before. 2 years ago, there was a Kenyan bank that sold out everything to Nigeria. They said, Nigerians, come and collect it. Take the bank and run it. Own it. We give you the bank. They trusted Nigeria with that bank. Nigeria saved the bank, and the bank is doing well. Now, the National Bank of Kenya. The name sounds like it's the national, like it's the Bank of Kenyan people. The National Bank of Kenya, as you can see, they have invited Nigeria Access Bank to buy off the bank. So Nigerians can own 100%, 100% equity of the bank. So Nigerians will control that bank, but the bank can still maintain the name, but it will be owned by Nigerians. They'll be the one to manage the affairs of the bank, run everything that's happening in the bank, and that will be good news. Uganda is doing the same. Tanzania is doing the same. Many countries are realizing that Nigeria is the best. Many countries have come to realize that, guy, you cannot do without Nigerians. They are just the best. We need them. We have to use them. We have to work with them. Only a few countries that have pride, they are refusing to accept this. Not even countries anymore, because even South Africans know. They know. South Africans who have been to Nigeria, South Africans who travel, who are educated, who understand economics, who understand how the world is run, they know the importance of Nigeria. They always tell you Nigeria is a great country. I've been to Nigeria and I've loved it. All the great South Africans that we know that have visited Nigeria have had positive remarks about Nigerians. And I've always said, everybody needs to behave like a Nigerian. If you behave like a Nigerian, there's a higher chance that you'll be successful in life and you'll make it. It is what it is. Guys, you guys are doing well, eh? Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. Come to Nigeria. Nigeria is the best. Guys, come anytime you're free, because there's always more beautiful and amazing videos just for you all. God bless you all. Cheers.